everybody. Welcome to Clara's news channel. So glad you decided to stop by and discuss politics with me. I want to discuss it like I miss, when my mom was alive and she used to want to have debate and talk politics. I always kind of was a little resistant because I didn't want to do it every day, but this channel is dedicated to her. So and I miss it. I didn't think I would miss it. I miss her, but of course I miss our debates. And we both were, well, she was a staunch Democrat and I'm a staunch Democrat. We didn't have debates on our core values. We just would have debates on what might be going on, and we would have different theories on why Trump did this or why he did that, or his supporters and MAGAs, and uh, I just thank God. Well, of course, I would love for my mom to be here, but if she had saw them the insurrection of the Capitol, it would have been heartbreaking for her. My mom was so old school. My grandmother was old school. My grandmother was around when African Americans could not vote. And when she finally got the right to vote, my grandmother voted until the day she died, and she lived to be 93 years old. Okay. And I remember as a little girl, and she couldn't read all that well because she didn't have, she just had a grade school education. And so I would have to, as a little girl, I would have to read off the names, and tell her the instructions on how to vote, the process of it. She would take me to go vote in this little wooden house, you know, and so I remember that. And so my mom saying, well, my mom coming up, she was able to vote, but she was just as dedicated about voting as my grandmother. And so they instilled that in me. They instilled in me um, that how important it is to participate in the political process and the value of your vote and how many people have made sacrifices in order for you to be able to do that. So that is the reason why I started this channel. I don't have anybody to talk to anymore about it. My grandmother and my mother both has passed on, and so I decided to start this channel in her name. And so I can find a tribe to discuss politics with. So, what I want to talk about today, let me get to the subject of the day. I want to talk about the fundraiser that was in California. And here is the article right here. I got it off of TMZ. I think it was TMZ. It said President Biden and Obama scorched the earth on Trump during a splashy LA fundraiser. So they must have been. The event, which has already raked in $28 million, was hosted by George Clooney and Julia Roberts, with a lot of other big name stars front and center. And they have a picture of President Obama and President Biden with Jimmy Kimmel. So Kimmel must have been there. And here's a picture of him with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Love both of them. Love them. Love them. You can see my tablet is losing power. It said Obama leaned in even harder. Look, he said, part of what has happened in the past several years is we're normalizing behavior that used to disqualify you. That's a mouthful, isn't it? It's true. It's absolutely true. And it's sickening to watch the and it's all on one side. That's something that really gets me going. It's when I see debates on CNN, not so much on MSNBC. MSNBC has kind of gotten the memo that you don't have to have both sides. You have to have the right side. Okay? You need to tell the truth. That whole having both side thing started with CNN with point counterpoint. I think if you're old head, you remember that with Tucker Carlson and who was the other person? I can't remember who the other person was. But and Jon Stewart came over there and called them out. I think it was who was it? Tell me in the comments if you're old head and you remember that. And they start having both sides. When it used to be one side, which was the right side, which it was the truth. And now it's all this shenanigans and horrible behavior. Would you really want to raise a child to grow up to be like Marjorie Taylor Greene? Would you want your son to be like Trump? I mean, a president of the United States cursing on national TV. It was unheard of before Trump. My God, they lost their shit when President Obama wore a tan suit. I mean, Fox News just went on and on and on about the tan suit. And now you have a man who has 34 felonies running for president. And they say, well, the forefathers didn't say that a felon can't run for president. Well, the forefathers didn't imagine that we would have some degenerate running. They thought only the best of the best would aspire to be the president of the United States, the greatest nation on earth. They didn't know that a degenerate, a liar, a grifter would capture a sliver of the population and con a sliver of the population and able to cobble together a coalition and hijack a party, the Republican Party, and become president. How would they know that? Trump will not be able to vote for himself because he's a felon. And I'm thinking, and I cannot remember, drop it in the comments. It's one state that he will be disqualified for because a felon cannot run for office in this state. It is crazy to me. So, what President Obama is absolutely saying is so true. He had to be perfect. He couldn't wear a tan suit. But yet, and still, here is this rodeo clown wearing, I mean, Trump lying with every breath he take. And I'll tell you what really got me this week. This really, really got me. And I'm going to get back to the article. is the Republicans welcoming Trump back to the Hill, back to the scene of the crime. I'm telling you, my stomach was doing cartwheels and flips. It was. How disgusting. How disgusting do you have to be? And Mitch McConnell with his shaky self, Mr. Frozen guy, Mr. Iceman cometh, who will freeze up on you in a minute, greeted him. But January 6th, the day of the insurrection, he got on the Senate floor and said exactly who was the cause of the whole thing. And now you're welcoming him back to the scene of the crime. I look at the Republicans and the Republican Party and how you can absolutely live with yourself to go down in history as being a party to the destruction of democracy. How can you do that? But they can, as long as they get to keep their job. They are so loyal to the party that they're traitorous to the country. And it's disgusting. And I can't say that I'm not worried. I'm very worried that Trump may win because I see chatters. And I see TikTok posts where these people, I'm not voting. I'm not voting because it's the choices between two evils. And when I see that, I get in the comments and I really roast them, especially if they're black. Do you not know people fought, bled, and died so you could sit around and say, I'm not voting? Give me a break. And give me a break about the lesser of two evils. It's only one evil. And if you can't recognize that, I, I just don't know what to tell you. I am just done. But I get in there and I try to educate. But it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. I'm the little girl who went with her grandmother who was walking on a cane to go to a little wooden house devote to help her to read what was on her ballot. And then I have to go on TikTok and see people. I'm not gonna vote. I'm not gonna vote because of Gaza. Because of Gaza. I cannot say, as a staunch Democrat, that I agree with all the policies of the Democratic Party. But I am you know, a rounded enough person to understand that you're not going to agree with anything 100%. But if it's 80, you need to support it. If it's 75, you need to support it. If it's 55, you need to support it. If it's 50-50, you need to support it. You need to support the party. Because at the end of the day, the alternative is disastrous. So, scorched earth method, I agree. Chef kissed President Obama. Let's see what else he said. It said It said he's been convicted of by a jury of his peers for 34 counts. You have his foundation. He's not allowed to operate because he was engaged in monkey business and not actually philanthropic things. There were big protests outside demonstrating, demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. I get it. I get Gaza. But you going to let our country go down the drain? If we go down the drain, who's going to help them fix Gaza? It's that old adage, why are we throwing the baby away with the bathwater? It makes just about as much sense. It's throwing the baby away with the bathwater. The baby's clean, but it's out there laying in the yard. Doesn't make any sense. But this is the analysis of some people. Okay, you disagree. I what people don't seem to understand, and I wrote this in a comment of one of those people who said, "I'm not voting." I said, because of Gaza, and I told him, I said, me and you probably are closer than you think about our views about Gaza. We probably closer than you think. But I, as a black woman, cannot afford to be a one issue voter. If I don't agree with one issue my party is supporting, I can't afford to throw away uh, the cottomizing of Roe versus Wade. I want that to happen. I want something to be done by the Supreme Court. It is so corrupt. Kent Clarence Thomas needs to be impeached. And the other one, what is his name? With his wife flying the flag upside down. Something needs to be done about that Supreme Court. I can't afford to do that. Affirmative action, all of that. But my number one issue is body autonomy. Is Roe versus Wade, is abortion, because I have a daughter and I don't want to be in a room where my daughter has to get sepsis in order to get an abortion to save her life. I don't want to do that. I don't want anybody to do that. Just like I don't want those little kids dying in Gaza or the adults. I don't want anybody dying in Gaza. I'm not a Netanyahu fan, but we got to do the things that we need to do. We got to put in the people because you're never going to get 100% of the things that you want. And that's the problem with people. If and I'll tell you another thing that really gets on my nerves on TikTok. What has Biden done for anyone? What do you want him to do? Go and babysit your children? It's as if they expect the president. Why is it like that when Democratic presidents get in power? They act like they want him to show up and babysit their children. They want something direct that he has done for them, not even educating themselves enough to see what his policies are and how they have affected them in the positive. They don't want to do that work. They want to know that he showed up and babysitted for them, I guess, or gave them a ride to work. I don't know what they want, but it's the most ridiculous thing I have ever saw or and heard, and that's pretty much the attitude I take with them. Let's finish the article and and we'll wind it up. Because, like I said, this is a commentary channel. It's maybe short of little on news, a lot on commentary. Then it might be long on news and short on commentary. It's however the balance is. Today is long on commentary. Okay. It's talking about the ticket prices. It said tickets for the event range from 250 to half a million bucks. They raised $28,000, $28 million. I say, yay, yay! And it says, ladder got you photos with both presidents and admission to the after party. I did not know. I did not know they had after parties. Okay, okay. Well, I guess they had a good time. Well, I am going to end it there. I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and I hope you learn a little bit about this fundraiser that President Obama and President Biden attended. And I'm with President Obama. That's one thing, and this I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna end it. That's my problem with Democrats, and I am one of them. We are too nice. We are too nice. Michelle Obama famously said, when they go low, we go high. Well, we are dealing with some low, low, low dogs, low. They are down there. And we need to understand when they go low, we need to go to hell. We need to really go and stop being so nice. Are we gonna break laws and become them? Of course not. But we definitely are gonna call them out on what they do and not allow them the double standard. I am sick of the double standard. The Democrats have to act in an honorable, well, honorable, we have to act in an honorable way, but we have to be polite and all this kind of stuff. That's why I love Jasmine Crockett. I love her. I love who else is a firebrand in the Congress. I love of course I love AOC. I love it's a young guy out of Florida. I like him. I like Katie, I forgot her name. She's from California. She gets out her whiteboard and she just eats them up. And I love that. So we need to be more like that. Democrats, we need to and I'm gonna say this. You know how they was had that dirty trick where they was acting like President Biden was running around at D-Day Memorial and stuff like that when they actually just took a segment out of a clip. And Morning Joe showed the whole thing, and he actually was just talking to the people who had just parachuted in, and he was just really giving them some attention for what they had done. And so they wanted to try to make something out of that Fox News. That's what we need to do. We need to fight fire with fire. And if we have to, we need to pour gasoline on it and make the fire hotter that we're fighting with, if you know what I mean. Because we really need to win this. All right. See y'all later, probably tomorrow. Bye.